church. Church is not only Sunday morning. We got to ask ourselves, where is the church? I don't know about y'all, but I'm glad that church is not just Sunday morning. I'm glad that Jesus can do things not just on Sunday morning. Is there anybody else other than me that's glad to know that you don't have to wait to church? Wait till Sunday morning to get a miracle. Because if church is over, then we are over. We don't pick up our Bibles or say anything to God until Sunday morning. But I don't know about y'all, but I may need him at my doctor's appointment. So I don't have to wait till Sunday morning. Because if somebody else is other like me, then you may need God to go follow you to the hospital right before you have your surgery. You may need God to go to your school with you. You may need God to go to your job with you. You may need God to go to pay your bills with you. I'm so glad that we don't have to wait till Sunday morning to find Jesus. Jesus goes with us every day of the week. The reality is our church was shut down for 2 years just like everybody else's church. But we were still able to go out and be the church. We want to fight and fuss over doctrine and denominations and what's sacred and women in the pulpit. Listen, none of that is going to feed anybody. None of that is going to put clothes on anybody. None of that is going to help families keep their lights and heat on in the winter time. We picked the craziest things to talk about, and none of that is going to help anybody see Christ. None of that is going to help anybody know who Jesus is. We got to be able to tell people who God is and who we serve. Listen, I got a few things. I don't want to get on your nerve, but I got a few things. Y'all got the time, right? Y'all ain't ready to go? Give me a few minutes. And I'll be out of your way. Listen, the first thing I want you all to see is that the power in God's house can be present in your house. The power of God's house can be present in your house. Listen, Jesus was at the church. Y'all see that in verse 29. I ain't make it up. Jesus was at the church. He ministered. He taught. Around verse 27, if y'all look at verse 27, he even did a good sermon teaching to them. He did I know he's all right sermon, because the text says that they were amazed in verse 27. And they were very amazed. But their amazement wasn't because of the gimmicks and because that he could sing real good. It wasn't because he could celebrate at the end of his sermon. They were amazed by the teaching that he was doing. I can prove it to you if y'all don't mind. The Bible says after church was over, Peter took Jesus to his house. Y'all, I don't want y'all to miss that. The text says when church was over, in verse 29, Peter took Jesus to his house. And as a result of Peter taking Jesus home with him, his mother-in-law got healed when church was over. Peter wanted the power that was witnessed in church to be present in his own house. How did he make that happen? Well, he took Jesus home with him. I want somebody to know that the challenge is to make sure that you don't just leave Jesus at church. Whatever experience that you have on a Sunday morning, I just dare you to take Jesus home with you. When you take Jesus home with you, everything begins to unfold. I wish you would take Jesus with you everywhere you go. You would take Jesus to your home. You would take Jesus to your school. You would take Jesus everywhere you go. When we take Jesus with us, everything begins to change. Our whole lifestyle begins to change. Hold on, wait a minute. I believe I know why we don't want to take Jesus with us, because some of the places we go, we know Jesus ain't ain't welcome. But I just want to know, where are you going that Jesus is not welcome? We should be able to take Jesus everywhere we go. I dare you to take Jesus with you. So when you leave church today, you need to tell Jesus, come on and go with me. I'm going to need you tomorrow when I go to work. I'm going to need you when I go to school. I'm going to need you. Come on and tell Jesus to go with you. And Jesus, don't get mad because I may need you next week too. So just stay and hang out with me. Take Jesus with you. Peter took Jesus home. The mother-in-law wasn't even in church. He healed, or her healing came from Peter, who went to church. He told Jesus about his mother-in-law that didn't go to church. Y'all missing it. The mother-in-law wasn't in church. Jesus didn't even know the mother-in-law. Peter was in church, and he saw what Jesus was doing in church. So Peter took Jesus away from church and took him home with him to save the mother-in-law. So the mother-in-law didn't get healed because she asked to bring Jesus. It's because Peter was at church. Come here, y'all still like y'all confused. When you come to church on a Sunday morning and God has done something for you, you should be able to leave church and bring Jesus to somebody that had not been to church, or somebody that don't know anything about church, because their healing comes from you, and the only church they know is you. So when you come to everybody and tell them about the God you serve, it should be able to change people's lives. It should be able to heal people. Wait a minute. Why people ain't being saved? Why people ain't being healed? It's probably because you ain't talking to them about Jesus. It's probably because you ain't talking to them about the man that can heal. It's probably because you ain't talking to them about some stuff that God can do. You talking to them about everything else that have nothing to do with the God we serve. I challenge you to go home and bring Jesus with you and tell somebody about the goodness of God. Listen, I'm moving because I can see that I'm disturbing a few of y'all. Listen, not only can Jesus be in your house, but the second thing I want you all to see is saved to be served, or saved to serve. Look at verse 30 and 31. 30 says, but Simon's wife, mother, lay sick of fever, and they tell him of her. And he came and took her by the hand and lifted her up. And immediately the fever left her, and she ministered, or served unto them. So her response to the healing was serving. Her gratitude for Jesus showing up in her house and healing her, delivering her, fixing her, her response was serving. I don't want y'all to miss this. The Lord has done plenty of things for us. We should learn how to serve him. People complain about the same old people doing everything in church Sunday after Sunday. Why do they got to do devotion? Why do they got to be the one that sing every Sunday? Why do they have to be the one that do the announcement? Why do they have to be the one that teach the class? Why do they have to be the one doing this and doing that? Is it because it's because they are servants and they are serving the Lord? If you just get yourself up off your blessed assurance, you'll be able to serve the Lord too. Maybe because you're too good and you think you don't owe the Lord anything. I'd rather be around folks that know they owe the Lord, so they'll be able to serve God and won't have so much pride that they don't think they owe the Lord anything. She had a fever. She was in the bed, and Jesus touches her and lifts her up, and she starts serving. Don't miss it. She had a fever. She was in the bed. Jesus touched her, lifts her up, and then she started serving. Let me say it one more time. She had a fever. She was in the bed. You ever been that sick? You had to stay in the bed. Then Jesus stopped by and he touches her. Then he lifts her up. And then she begins immediately to serve. What I'm trying to say is that there was no recovery period. I came to tell you that if you take Jesus home with you and allow the Lord to touch your situation, you don't have to worry about a recovery period, because when God touches you, you are healed right then and right there because of the faith that you have. And when you take Jesus home with you, I want to know, is there somebody else in here to say, I'm going to take God home with me today? I'm going to take him to my job so he can make that boss leave me alone. I'm going to take him to that school so he can make that bully leave me alone. I'm going to take God with me so my situation won't have a recovery period. I'll be healed right there. No recovery period. Listen, Adam held you too long. Thank you so much for coming. May the God bless you. May the Lord bless you real good. But the third thing I want y'all to see is this. Not only are you saved to serve, and not only is the power of God's house can be the same power in your house, but the last thing I want y'all to see is this. That your testimony is the best market ministry ever. I know in this modern world, we have technology. And technology is good. But the best market ministry is your testimony. I don't think y'all heard me. We got smartphones. We got iPads. We got social media. We got cameras everywhere. And it can spread the good news. But the best market ministry is your testimony. Why don't you tell somebody? Tell them the best way to tell somebody about you. Y'all ain't talking. Look over at somebody and say, tell somebody. Tell them the best way to tell somebody about Jesus is your testimony. In this modern day, we have perfected marketing in the church, but we have not perfected marketing the kingdom. What are you trying to say? It's right here in the word. Verse 32 says, when evening came and when the sun began to set, they brought unto him all that were diseased and all that were possessed with the devils. And they brought them all around Peter's mother-in-law house. The reason why they brought them is because the mother-in-law's testimony. Well, who all came is the question. And verse 33, it says all of the city was gathered at their door. Can you imagine all of the city? Or can you imagine all of Coldwater at your house knocking on your door? Only because you brought Jesus to your house. Because anybody here say that I brought Jesus to my house? And when people knock on your door, it's not because you make good sweet potato pie. It's not because you got a big screen TV. It's not because you got a fancy car. It is not because you got a big old house. But they came to your house because you brought Jesus to your house. And Jesus was able to save your body. And Jesus was able to heal your soul. What I'm trying to say is, if we take the time and tell somebody about the goodness of God, we can spread the good news, and everybody wouldn't mind come into your house, what are you trying to say? Let me ask y'all another question. When? When was the last time you told somebody that the God I serve can do anything? When was the last time you told somebody my body was sick with fever, but God healed me? When was the last time you told somebody I couldn't pay my bills, but God made a way? Can I find somebody ever told somebody else about the goodness of God? Is there anybody else in here ever tried the man and you ran and told somebody how good he is? I wonder, can I find somebody that ever tried the Lord? And you know for yourself, without a shadow of a doubt, that if it had not been for God on your side, you could have died a long time ago. Well, let me testify, if y'all don't mind, I've seen the lightning flash, and I've heard the thunder roar, and I've seen the demons tremble, but I heard that Jesus was passing by one Sunday morning. Jesus came by. He stopped by Mount Carmel, and he said, all that will and all that need to be healed, come on and follow me. I don't know about y'all, but I was sick with fear, body wrecking with pain. God healed my body. Can I find somebody else? Have the Lord been good? Have the Lord been good? If you know he been good, why don't you tell somebody God has been good? Why don't you tell your neighbors and neighbor, tell them God has been good. When I couldn't see my way, he brought me through. When I had danger on both sides, God protected me. Grandmama said that he's a wheel in the middle of a wheel. Grandmama said when I was hungry, he fed me. Grandmama said when I was laying in the bed, couldn't move my body, but every now and then, when I could think of his goodness, Grandmama said, I don't have to wait till Sunday morning. You don't have to worry about me running for Jesus. She said, if I could just wave my hand, I know how good he's been. Is there anybody here? No, God has been good. Why don't you tell somebody I've had heartaches and pain, sunshine and rain. Yes, sir. But after all I've been through, tell them God will. Tell them God will. Tell them God will. He'll heal your body. Is there anybody here this morning? Don't mind spreading the good news. Don't mind taking Jesus home. Tell your neighbors. Tell your community. Tell your co-workers. Tell your boss. Tell your friends that the God I serve, tell them the God I serve can move mountains. The God I serve can heal the sick. The God I serve can raise people from the dead. The God I serve can heal your sick body. The God I serve will clothe you in your right mind. The God I serve, yeah, the God I serve, he is able. Anybody know he's able? If you know he's able, shout able. If you know he's able, shout able. Able. Anybody know he's able? Shout yeah. Shout He's a good God. He's a good. Listen, the doors of the church are open. I'm done, y'all. Listen, the doors of the church are open. Where is the church? Listen, the song says, come from a poor family, didn't have much, but the Lord been good to me. Come from a poor family, we didn't have much, but the Lord been good to me. Come from a poor family, we didn't have much, but the Lord been good. We were raised in a shack, y'all. Sometimes clothes were thin, we had on our back. But Mama and Daddy, they done the best they could. They always told, son, always be good. But out of all the things I've learned in life, I know that the Lord been good to me. Can I say that? Listen. We were raised in the country, y'all. Sometimes food was thin that we put on our plate. But Mama and Daddy, they done the best they could. They always told, son, always be good. But out of all the things I've learned in life, I know that the Lord been. Can I say it again? Listen. We were raised in a shack, y'all. Sometimes clothes were thin, we had on our back. But Mama and Daddy, they done the best they could. They always told, son, always be good. But out of all the things I've learned in life, I know that the Lord been good. Well, he been good. He been good. Y'all come on, put your hands together. He been good. He been good. Anybody here know he been good? Can I find somebody? Anybody here know? Anybody here know that God been good? Can I ask y'all a question? Can I ask y'all a question? Can I ask y'all a question? If y'all don't mind, can I ask y'all a question? Can I ask y'all a question? Yeah. Anybody know about the rock?
Anybody know about the
rock in the weird?
Rock in the weird land.
Anybody know that he's bread?
Anybody know about the
bread in the starry land?
Bread in the starry land.
Can I ask y'all a question?
Yeah.
Can I ask y'all a question?
Yes, sir.
Can I ask y'all a question?
Yes, sir.
Anybody here?
Yeah.
Can I ask y'all a question?
Anybody know?
Anybody got the Holy?
Anybody got the Holy Ghost?
Anybody got the Holy Ghost?
Got the Holy Ghost?
Anybody got the Holy Ghost?
Got the Holy.
Anybody got the Holy Ghost?
Got the Holy.
Can I ask y'all a question?
Yes, sir.
Can I ask y'all a question? Anybody know he been good? Anybody here? Anybody know he been good? Can I ask all of us? Can I ask all of us? Has anybody got the Holy Ghost? 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 Anybody know the Lord been good? Anybody know the Lord been good? If you know he been good, let me hear you shout yeah. If you know he been good, let me hear you shout yeah. Let me hear you shout yeah. 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 Anybody got the Holy Ghost? Anybody got the Holy Ghost? Anybody know he been good? Anybody know he been good? Anybody know he been good? Out of all the things I love, yes, sir. Out of all the things, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Ah, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Out of all the things. After all the headaches, after all the body pain, after all the hills and mountains, after all the things, after all the things, anybody ever had to eat leftovers for 3 and 4 days? Anybody ever had a car that just won't start? Anybody ever had an eviction notice? Can I find somebody that ever had their car repoed? I guess I'm talking to myself this morning. After all the things, after all the things, after all the things I've done in life, I know that the Lord been good to me. Anybody know he been good? Shout yeah, yeah. Anybody know he been good? After the heartaches and pain, sunshine and rain, yes, he been good. After all the things I've learned in life, I know that the Lord been good to me. Y'all, come on, give the Lord a hand. Thank you so much, brothers. We see that there is none, but yet there is still room. He been good. He been good. He been good. He been good.
On behalf of Pastor and Lady Anderson, we encourage you to connect with us on all of our social media pages at Mount Com Church. Visit us on our website at www.mountcomchurch.org. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button below where you can be alerted of new content from us. If you're on Facebook, hit the like, follow symbol above and share us with your friends. By doing so, you're doing your part by winning a soul to Christ. Come worship with us in person or virtually online, as the doors of our church are now fully open every Sunday at 10 a.m. for worship service. We're located at 4923 Arca Butler Road, Coldwater, Mississippi, which is approximately 30 minutes south of Memphis, Tennessee, and neighbors to both DeSoto and Tunica County, Mississippi. We encourage you to join us weekly for our prayer call on Wednesdays at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. Central Standard Time by dialing toll-free number 425-436-6398 and entering the access code of 239-7146. At Mount Calm, we're dedicated to service after the benediction and winning souls to Christ.
I'm not going back to be a fool, because things that I used to do is not going to allow me to get encouraged on what I'm trying to do right now. So you got to encourage yourself like Sherman Klump and said, yes, I can. But when you plant a seed so that it can go through a transformation to come back up looking better than what it was before it went down. Because if we seek God and his kingdom and his righteousness, then everything we ask for will be added.